Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. I'm at the Towton Battlefield to the east of Leeds today. It's a walk I started, I think, when I maybe had my bad foot a few months ago, and I couldn't complete the whole walk. It's actually only a small walk. It's a 3-kilometre trail near the village of Towton, but I like to add on my own twist. If you remember in the last video, I started near to the Crooked Billet pub, which is down there, and then walked up and round through the village of Saxton, up onto the site of the battlefield, what's probably the highest part. Now, this is a path that was created, I think, by the Towton Battlefield Society. It's got a little bit overgrown. Just had a right struggle to get down here, but yeah, if you remember, I walked to that tree and did a little bit of drone footage across here, and this is as far as we got, and then I went to the end, went back along the road, back through Saxton, back to my car. So this time I'm going to continue on the actual trail, which is just up there a little way, and as I say, it's a 3-kilometre trail through Towton village and then back. But I thought we'd start here, which is where we ended last time, 29th of March 1461. I'll let you read this yourself, but basically where we are was the site of a mass burial. Oh yeah, the Yorkists caused heavy casualties, forcing the Lancastrians to advance to close combat. The centre of the fighting is identified by a series of mass graves along the valley bottom where you are standing. No burials remain here. The bodies were exhumed in 1483 and reburied in sanctified ground by order of Richard III. So the Yorkists were along there, and the Lancastrians were lower down, and most soldiers on both sides were archered, and the battle began with an exchange of arrows. The Yorkist Lord Falkenberg led his archers forward 40 paces, shot a volley, then retired. The Lancastrian archers returned volley after volley, but shooting into the wind and driving snow, could not see their arrows fall. They could not see their arrows falling short. When the shot was almost spent, Lord Falconbridge marched forwards with his archers, which not only shot their own whole sheaves, but also gathered the arrows of their enemies, and let a great part of them fly against their own masters, and another part they let stand on the ground, which sore annoyed the legs of the owners. Anyway, I think it was the beginning of the end for them. Beautiful day. Anyhow, Palm Sunday in 1461, with a very different scene to today. The thing I like about here, as much as anything, is the whole area is pretty much unchanged. I've said this before, the roads are still the same layout, the paths are still the same layout, the villages are pretty much the same. It's fascinating. 1961, over 500 years of time has passed, and if you brought those soldiers on a winter's day when the field wasn't full of sweet corn, you know, they'd recognise it, I'm sure. Anyhow, that's where we got to last time, so we'll head up to the stone cross on the road and we'll do the actual walk. I did try to fly the drone, but the picture is really overexposed. Every time I try and get the drone going, there's something. I suppose it's part of the learning process. I'll give this path a try, but coming down it got a bit impassable. I ended up having to walk at the side of the field. Well, that's got me warmed up. So as you can see, we're sort of, this would have been not what you can see for the sweet corn. But this would have been where the Yorkists were, and it's considerably higher than where we've just been, where the Lancastrians were, and the wind was blowing that way, which would have helped the Yorkists' arrows. Correct me if I'm wrong. And the Lancastrians are blowing this way, into the wind, into the snow, so they were at a distinct disadvantage. But that's the memorial cross there, and that's the start of the trail. So the battle took place where I've just shown you, and then I think it was something, do they call it, a rout took place, and the soldiers that lost, I'm guessing they didn't really know where they were, and they set off running in that direction, being hacked to death while they were running. And unfortunately there's a valley just there, which you'll see soon, which was in flood, and they ended up with a choice of running into the freezing cold March water or getting bludgeoned to death. That's where we just were, where the battle took place, there and there, and we've walked up to there. So we're going to see the bloody meadow, the weapons of war, the rout of the Lancastrians, armour of the War of the Roses, breaching bodies, and finally the village, and then we carry on round back through the village back to here. So there's your history. Kings in conflict, Edward IV and Henry VI. So this is the Battlefield Trail proper. If ever you're in the area, have a little walk around it. Probably only takes about an hour. What did I say it was? 3 kilometres. There's a pub in Towton, there's a pub in Saxton, there's a pub at the Crooked Billet, there's pubs in Barkston Ash. Lots of places to get a nice lunch. And on any day it's a really good walk. It's I think the best time is winter because it gives you a feel for what it must have been like for those guys. There's still swallows. That's nice. They can't be here for much longer. I saw a guy with a hat on. Saw some hikers. Saw a guy with a hat on. Thought, oh, I need my hat on. No, I don't. Yeah. I love it when I see the first swallows. And I was a bit sad when you come out one day and they're not here. This was where I really did want to fly the drone, but never mind, another time. So this is the Cockbeck, it's Cock River. It starts in Leeds in an area called Winmore, and it runs west to east, and eventually in about 2 mile maybe, joins up with the River Wharf just south of Tadcaster. But this is where they would have ran, so from the battlefield straight across here, trying to escape, and this entire valley in wet weather floods, and so it was snowing, so the water would have been freezing, wouldn't it? So that was the choice, and I think research in later years has shown that it was a battle to the death, and they found people being poleaxed in the head and clubbed to death, spear wounds all over the bodies. So that was what waited for you on this side of the bank. And I guess this is our future. Just keep seeing them every year now, little packets of them like this. Maybe as the climate changes, we'll become like southwest France is now. There's a burnt out Range Rover in this field here. Last time I came, looked as if it had been there for absolutely ages. The battle reaches its climax when two armies engaged hand to hand. The Lancastrian superior numbers pushed the Yorkist army back up the hill towards Saxon. The Yorkist line may also have been outflanked at its left end. Some accounts report a Lancastrian ambush from Castle Hill Wood, far from the main action, although this may be an excuse. A temporary setback. So, if the Yorkists lose, my history's terrible, and the Lancastrians won. Then, in the nick of time, Norfolk's troops arrived. This seemed to have turned the tide back, and as fresh troops joined the fighting, the left of the Yorkist battle line swung back. tired and demoralised Lancastrian army broke and fled to the northwest, directly towards Cockbeck, and a terrible fate in its freezing cold, fast-flowing water. So the Yorkists who were firing down the hill with the wind behind them, they had a bit of a setback, but they ended up winning. Yeah, that's what I'm showing. Dacres Cross, Drax Power Station, which is hard to see now. Oh, it's there, just above those trees. And then Saxton Village, like we saw in the last videos, in that dip there. And Ferry Bridge, I'd say it's down there somewhere. And Leeds is there. And this was the Bloody Meadow. Buzzard or a red kite. And York would be that way, where the winners put the heads of the losing leaders on stakes on Micklegate Bar and left them there for a long time. Cockbeck, the London Road, which we're going to see, Tadcaster, which we'll also probably see a little bit of, Towton Village, I'm saying York's that way probably, and then the cross again. I'm sorry about my lack of English history. I only studied it up to O level, and can't remember what we did, but we didn't do the Civil War and the War of the Roses. Did the plight of the Native American Indians, which I found very interesting. Came as a bit of a shock to me as a 14-year-old boy that one nation would try and effectively wipe out another nation just to grab its land. I didn't even think back then that people would behave like that towards other people, but they do, and they still are. I always try to imagine, I really do, but it's hard to imagine, isn't it? I mean, there's all these different accounts that say there were like 50,000 people here, and the noise and the carnage. It's a lovely day. It's about 15, 16, a bit windy. One of those days where it's just a little bit too warm to put another layer on, but just a little bit cold to just have a t-shirt on. see the White Horse of Kilburn. I don't know if you can pick it up on the GoPro. It's just there. That's on the Hambleton Hills, just on the very edge of the North Yorkshire moors. Weapons of the War of the Roses. Another good thing to see if ever you're in Leeds, which ties in with this and I think gives you some of the history of it, is the armouries, the Royal Armouries in Leeds. It's a national museum, so it's free. Let's see what they're like here. Oh man, they're gorgeous. Yeah, very nice. Really sweet and lovely. It's fallen off. The rout of the Lancastrians. Hall gives the death toll at Towton as 36,776, but a more commonly accepted figure is 28,000, although some scholars today think these are gross exaggerations and that the true figure may be closer to 3,000. However, the pursuit by the Yorkists, especially those of Norfolk's battle who may have arrived on horseback, combined with the perils of crossing the Cockbeck, caused carnage and gave name to the bloody meadow, scene of much slaughter. Archaeological investigations suggest that pockets of Lancastrians made a series of stands during the retreat. To the north, scatters of artefacts on the high ground above Coxford suggest the final stages of the battle took place here, a last desperate effort to prevent the Yorkists from winning, marching on York and capturing King Henry. But all attempts failed and the Lancastrian cause was lost. I have done this once before. I don't remember it being such a long drag. to Towton village. But I say you could park up at the cross, walk to Towton village, go in the pub, have lunch, walk back the same way, because I'll walk back the other way. The other way is not as pretty. You end up, there is a hedge between you and the road, but you end up at the side of that road. Another one's fallen off. Armour of the War of the Roses. Warming up now. I think it's probably well into the low 20s and quite humid. We had a shed load of rain yesterday. I'm going to have to stop though, probably at this next marker board. I need to change the battery in the GoPro. The Bridge of Bodies, the only bridge over the Cockbeck, was here, where the old London Road, I think it must be down here somewhere, where the old London Road crossed the stream on its way to Tadcaster. Those Lancastrians who made it over the bridge probably escaped the Orkis pursuit, but many more were probably slaughtered before they could cross. The Bridge of Bodies, where the dead Lancastrians filled the stream, allowing others to cross, may have been here. And again in the distance there you can see the Hambleton Hills, and then across just Tadcaster's just here, about 2 miles, and then York about another 8 miles or so that way. that's the original. In the original video, you can see the tree on the battlefield, and that's where the battle was. And is this where the cross is? Just here, and the route took place, I guess, all across here and into the valley. And then, as I say, the London Road. I'm not sure if that's it there, going up over that little hill onto Tadcaster, and then onto the main road, which was there. It's been there since Roman times. Onto the main road into York. And as I say, we've come a long way. Well, have we? We've come a long way. So the heads of the defeated were put on stakes at Micklegate Bar for, I think it was about, I'm not sure, I might be wrong, but it was a long time. It was like 70 years or something like that, maybe even longer. A gruesome reminder. Who won? This is Towton village in the distance. Oh, a bit of rain on the way, I think. And this is the village we're past. Medieval house platforms. We're past this. A mass grave was found at Towton Hall in 1996. Remains of 38 individuals were discovered. Oh, blimey. Other excavations in the cellar and across the front lawn of Towton Hall found disarticulated human remains, suggesting that yet more skeletons have been disturbed during previous building work. So this is what we call the London Road. I missed the turn off, but it carries on, follows the telegraph poles, goes up to a village called Towton on the outskirts of Tadcaster, and then on to Tadcaster. This is the pub I was telling you about. Only really been in it once. It was okay. Food served Monday to Saturday, 8 till 8. Sunday lunch, 8 till 5. You can get a bus here from Tadcaster. Tadcaster is really well connected for buses. It's on the Yorkshire coastline route, and you can get a bus here from Pontefract. But if you were coming from Leeds, I'd get the bus from Leeds to Tadcaster, and then the bus from Tadcaster to here. Definitely a bit of a lean on this old barn, isn't there? Fabulous door. Over a telephone box. This is the Towton Hall, I think. I think this is where the graves were uncovered. Another lovely village, really. I think a bit spoilt by a busy road. So, ferry bridge, 9 miles, Tadcaster 2.5. And I'm sure this road played its part in the battle. And then Wakefield 17, and there was a battle just before this one, I think, wasn't there, at Wakefield. Haverford 5, Garforth 7. So if you started at the Dacre Cross, this is the way back, and unfortunately it's kind of by the road. You'll see. So this is the trail going back. It's much better than walking by the road. But that was it, guys. Over 2 videos, we've explored the Towton Battlefield. encouraged you that you might want to visit the area yourself, that's fabulous, because it's an interesting area. If not, I do hope you enjoyed my efforts. If you can, if you did enjoy it, like the video. It helps with the algorithm. My channel's completely stagnant at the moment. Reached a certain level of viewership, and that's it. It's neither growing nor declining. And if you did like the content and you do like what I do on this channel, do consider subscribing. It is completely free, and again, it makes YouTube realise that people are interested in what I'm doing, and then maybe amongst all the other millions of channels, it might start promoting mine alongside these people who've got 8 million subscribers and earn $600,000 a month. We really didn't need to know that, you know. But yeah, thanks for watching. I've enjoyed today, and until the next time, I'll say cheerio.